Bienvenidas a esta charla en la que tengo como invitada a Sabrina Vedete. Sabrina es healer, es terapeuta especializada en el Yoni Steam, que es el baño de vapor que se utiliza en el yoni o en nuestros genitales y que sirve para limpiarnos, para proveernos un ciclo menstrual más saludable y más balanceado. Es una práctica que viene de las épocas ancestrales de la tierra. Es una práctica medicinal, natural, creada por y para mujeres, y Sabrina ha sido mi guía en mi propio proceso de Yoni Steam, y comencé con ella este proceso hace un año aproximadamente, y al día de hoy he visto unos resultados muy bonitos, y por eso quise compartir con ustedes esta charla para que, si resuenan y si esto les hace mover el corazoncito, lo consideren como alguna de sus prácticas de sanación y se contacten con ella, que es una mujer amorosísima y con una sabiduría súper profunda de esta práctica ancestral, el Yoni Steam. Espero que disfruten muchísimo de esta charla.
Our womb space is the seat of our physical, emotional, and spiritual integrity and life force, right? So within our womb space, on the physical side, it holds our ability to create life, and it holds our ability to actually physically cleanse. Because what the period is a uterus cleanse. It's time because all month our body's preparing to make a baby. All month we're sending minerals and tissues and nutrients and stem cells to our womb space to build this beautiful home for a little egg to create life. Yet when that doesn't happen, we need to flush out all of that stuff. We need to release all of that tissue and all of that residue. So our uterus says, time to do a cleanse. And it takes all the blood and it washes our uterus, it washes our ovaries, it washes our fallopian tubes. The blood clears out the endometrial lining around the womb and takes out all the old tissue that it built up over the course of the year. Now, physically, that's why the Yoni Steam is so important to maintain our feminine ecosystem, because we've been bleeding every month, maybe for 15, 20, 30 years. For 30 years, every month, our body wants to make a baby, and it doesn't get all the tissue out every single month. It doesn't get all the blood out every month. So if you are a woman that has dark brown blood or black blood or clots in your blood that look like someone cracked an egg in your blood, or thick blood, or have terrible cramps or PMS, back pain, leg pain, sciatica pain, worry, tension, anxiety, especially irritable anger around the period, these are signs that your physical body has not gotten all the tissue out. Things are stuck. And the Yoni Steam comes in to physically support your organs in releasing all of this old stuff out the body. If you think about it, we do detoxes and cleanses and supplements for our mind, for our joints, for our ligaments, for our colon, we must do a cleanse and a detox for our womb too. And I'm not only talking also physically, birth control, antibiotics, subscription medications. These are all chemicals, tampons and pads that are not natural. These are all chemicals that stick inside the tissue organs of our muscles and inside of our womb space. And many women these days suffer from infertility and different pregnancy and womb-related imbalances, anything from cysts to infections to viral breakouts to infertility, etc. And all of these things are, messages that there's a physical imbalance in the womb. And so we must go in with our plant allies, our natural healing medicines, to support the cleansing process, leaching the chemicals out of the tissues and putting them in the bloodstream so that they can be released through the period. This is physical. For our feminine ecosystem on the emotional, our womb space holds our anger, fear, inability to let go, resentment, trauma, right? Our past lives, generations past, 7 generations, it's all the thing that someone said to us when we were 15 that we're still upset about. It's all there. But on the other side, it is our creative self-expression, our ability to manifest abundance, new life and otherwise. It is our ability to create life. It is our unconditional love and nurturing who we are as women. It is our divine feminine goddess nature. And so, when you have all of these things in the womb, and we are unconsciously walking through life, not knowing or recognizing everything that is here, what happens in this world of energy is that we get some things we like, some things we don't like, some things we want, some things we don't want. And we think this is the way it's supposed to be. However, this is only the way it is because we have not cleared our womb garden out from the fear, the pain, the anger, the trauma, the resentment. We have not created an embodiment ritual. It's one thing to say, I'm angry and I don't want to be angry anymore. It's another thing to say, I'm angry. I'm going to hit this pillow until I feel better. I'm going to go outside and go for a run. I'm going to sing. I'm going to dance. I'm going to make love. I'm going to yoni steam. I'm going to yoni steam with the intention to let that vibration out of my body and give it back to the earth using the plants, using my connection to Mama Gaia, and using my own magic spells, speaking my intention into the plants. I am choosing to release myself from this. I'm choosing to forgive this person, not for them. I do not forgive them for them. I forgive them for me. I forgive them to set myself free from carrying this burden of hatred and anger that's stopping me from being in my greatness. So I create a ritual. I yoni steam. I light my candles. I play my music. I write in my journal how much I'm choosing to let this go. I create a mantra. I create affirmation. I make my yoni steam. I connect with my ancestors through the herbs. I connect with Mama Gaia and the energy of the planet and all of creation. And then I say, I'm giving this energy from my womb that I've been holding, that I don't want anymore. I'm giving it back to the earth so she can take it and make something else with it. And so this is emotionally and spiritually. Every physical imbalance has an emotional and spiritual root. And let's say that we're angry about something, right? We went from the physical, which was, let's say, we have stagnation, which means we have terrible, terrible cramps, which translate emotionally to not being able to let go of something, which translates spiritually into, something that has occurred in our life or our past life that we must learn a lesson from. Because we're here on this planet to learn the lessons. And that anger is a sign that something deeper is going on, that perhaps came through into our body from our ancestors, that perhaps came through from us through our past lives, or even just from our childhood. And it's something we need to heal. Because underneath the anger, if you peel back the anger, Perhaps it comes down to loneliness or sadness or betrayal or disappointment, or ultimately underneath at the bottom of that is powerlessness. And powerlessness is a very scary feeling because we cannot control that. So it takes coming back to that and saying, no, I do have the power. That power is deep inside me, and I have the power to shift and change the way I feel. And that is the deep spiritual work. Making a choice to shift and change how we feel and standing in our power that we have the choice to not feel this way. And it takes courage. And it takes looking at ourselves deeply. It takes introspection. It takes yoni steaming. It takes writing. It takes going to people that we perhaps have been inauthentic with and coming clean. This is the deep spiritual work. Being vulnerable, being courageous, being authentic in this life. And these emotions are clues to how we can do the spiritual work so that we can be authentic in our lives.
You speak so beautiful. I love listening to you. Thank you very much for doing this. I know that my girls are going to be so happy to have all this information coming from you, because you really put it out there like a fairy tale, but a strong and powerful fairy tale that we have to...
The beautiful thing about the yoni steam is that it is a women's medicine tradition. Women around the world have been using medicinal herbs in all of their forms to heal themselves, their families, their friends, their community. And so no culture can claim the yoni steam. I've learned that in Central and South America, it's called bajos. I've learned in Korea and Southeast Asia, it's called chayok. I've heard in that there's roots in Africa, in India, in Northern Europe. And so this is a download that women received around the world from plants themselves. And so back in the day, when our men were out protecting and providing, and we were in our home space, growing food, taking care of children, going out into the forest and communicating with nature, communicating with the plants and the trees. And we came back and we said, this plant heals cuts and wounds. We came back and we said, this plant is good for stomach aches. This plant is good for cleansing. This sage is going to cleanse our aura. This rosemary is going to give our brains longevity and spice up our cuisine. There were no books. There was no literature that told us what to do. We went out into nature and we connected and we received the messages from her and we brought them back to our families as the medicine women, the healers, the shamanesses. And we shared those medicines and we created traditions around the medicines. We made tinctures. We made teas. We cooked. We made steams. And it was the women that figured this out. And it was the women that figured out that the steam is good for clearing, cleansing, and fortifying the womb, the body, but also the lungs. How many times when you were young, if maybe you had a sore throat or a stuffy nose and your family put you over some steam to clear your nasal passages with some eucalyptus, or you take a steamy hot shower and you know that it's maybe you have aromatherapeutic oils, or maybe you just take a hot shower with your scented something, which hopefully it's natural, and it opens up your nose and your passageways, and you know it's good for you. It clears and cleans you out. Our lungs and our yoni look exactly the same if you look at them without the skin. It's very, very beautiful. If you compare a chart of the yoni and a chart of the lungs, you see that they work the same way. They breathe the same way. They look the same way. They must be cleared and cleansed the same way. And especially in this time right now, you know, where that we're living in, we can steam our yoni and we can steam our face with antiviral herbs to support the clearing and cleansing of our nasal passageways, but all, you know, as well.
Can we just grab some herbs and steam them and do it? Or is it important to know which herbs? And there also, I remember that you told me that there's some herbs that we really need to know when to use them, because maybe we can't use them at some points of our cycle, or if we are pregnant or something like that.
Absolutely. So, as women, if we have a completely balanced body and a healthy period, that looks like 4 to 5 days of fresh red blood. That means we start with fresh red blood, we finish with fresh red blood. No spotting, no dark blood, no PMS symptoms, right? It's joyful, ceremonious, and beautiful release, right? And it comes every 28 to 30 days. And that's how we know when our ovulation is too. Now, this is a cycle that many women don't experience, and many women don't even think that they can experience because they've never had anything like this their whole life. And doctors have told you, oh, your period, the way that it is, that's normal for you. So that's the way you are. Well, I'm here to share you that normal is not healthy, and you do have every opportunity and chance to return and regulate your cycle to a healthy cycle with the support of yoni steaming and medicinal herbs. Nothing is guaranteed. Remember, no medicine practice is guaranteed, yet you have a chance if you try it the right way. And what does the right way mean? That means getting evaluated to find out where your menstrual cycle is at, because herbs are drying. Herbs are cooling. Herbs are emmenagogues. Herbs create more heat. Herbs take away dampness. Herbs do all of these things because the herbs are medicine. Each plant and flower has its own healing properties. And we can't pretend that that's not true. Right? So let's say you are a woman, that we're using this common explanation because this is the category that many women fall under. It's a category of what we call in Chinese medicine stagnation. Mm-hmm. That means you have your cycle comes every 35 days. It's dark. It's, you know, there's clotting, there's pain, there's cramping, right? If you use the wrong type of herbs, you could create more of this. So you want to use herbs that will support your body in opening up and loosening so that you can release. You want to use mugwort as one of your main herbs. It's an emmenagogue. It moves the body around. It creates circulation in the organs, right? So that your body can release the old blood that's hiding there. However, if you are a woman that has flood bleeding, if you bleed 10 days heavy straight or have a lot of heavy bleeding going on and you use mugwort, you're going to open up the floodgates for more bleeding, which you know can be very dangerous. If you are a woman that bleeds every 2 days, only 2 days, you have very light blood. You you have spotting in between cycles. Maybe even you have 2 cycles in 1 month, right? This means that you're more on the fatigue side. You're more on the blood deficiency side. And you don't want to use herbs that are going to stop your cycle, right? If you have this flood bleeding, you want to use herbs that's going to stop your cycle and regulate your cycle. Yarrow is a great herb for you because she's going to start regulating that blood back. But if you're on the other side, you know, and you use a specific herb, you could make your period disappear. And so if you have cysts or fibroids, which many women are suffering from, which, by the way, is, you know, emotionally holding on to deep grief and sorrow, and it doesn't even have to be from your lifetime. If you have a lineage with genocide, if you have a lineage, and we all have a lineage with genocide, but if you have in the past 7 generations, major trauma that's happened in the past 7 generations that has not been cleared from your body, you were the one that was chosen to clear it, and you were given these cysts, right? You want to use herbs that are going to drain the cysts, because all cysts are fluid-filled sacs. And the steam comes up to drain it. But if you use herbs that increase dampness, you can make the cyst grow, right? So this is what I'm talking about, why it's important to see a vaginal steam facilitator like myself or someone else, right?
Let's stop right here. That's why I bring her here.
Come to me. I'm very passionate about my things. But, there's a growing number of us out there. And you can get a menstrual evaluation where we look at your whole blood history. And it's fascinating because everything about your blood, from the amount of days you bleed to what you're experiencing, is a clue for me to find out what's happening with your body. And then we create your herbal blend just for you, for your body, so that you can yoni steam. And we say, you need to yoni steam here. You need to yoni steam here. Oh, for your body, it's best to yoni steam during this time. And then we get you on a path to begin healing your cycle.
Yes, I remember when I did the session with you for my process of yoni steaming, and I remember that you asked me so many questions that it is funny because I think before that, like 3 or 4 months before that, I went to my gynecologist, and I went for the first time with that gynecologist. So I thought they were going to open a file for me and ask me about all this history, and I was really shocked that they didn't ask me almost nothing. And then 4 months later, I am with you, and you asked me like, what did you eat when you got married? Yeah, really. You were like really in detail going through my history, and then all the process, how I felt the process was so healing and was so like very nurturing for me, for the connection that I needed at the moment that we were doing the process. And that's why I thought like this is something us women, we have to at least know of it and make the decision afterwards, because I understand with Johnny X, it's difficult the first time to make the decision of grabbing the practice and going through it, because it scares us, and we have so much trauma and shame and all that emotions stuck in us that it sabotages us, our way to healing. But the same as I think about Johnny X, I think about Johnny's team. If you are going to do it with a person that is going to guide you correctly, because our practices, that they are serious practices. They are not like, take the pot and throw some herbs, and because you can hurt yourself and you can really go wrong if you do it not in a
when we are yoni steaming, we can do it and look at our phone while we're doing it, or sit and just daydream, right? Or talk to someone, or we can treat it as a spiritual practice. I like to say that yoni steaming, and I like to say that's life itself is as silly or as sacred as we want it to be. We can walk every step a ceremony on this planet, honoring the leaves, the tree, the sky. Or we can not be having enough fun, or not be satisfied, or not anything, right? It's up to us. So we must gain control of our mind and realize to not be a zombie walking around, just letting things happen, and begin to pull in and create our reality. And because we are the creators, whether we know it or not. So become the conscious creator of our reality. And when you yoni steam, you can put yourself, when you are steaming, in the place that you are going to connect back to your ancestors, that you're going to heal your body. You can imagine the anger flooding out of your heart, going into your bloodstream and coming out of your yoni. You can imagine the earth taking the energy and removing it so that you're free, so that you clear your womb space, so that you can plant the dream seeds of your desires, and you can water the love and water the patience and water your dreams instead of fueling the worry and anxiety and pain. We have a choice. And what yoni steaming is a sacred act to embody, a sacred ritual to embody this. Because sometimes we say, yeah, I'm over that. I'm over that. Yeah. But it keeps coming back. And we say, wait a minute, I guess I'm not over it. You know, it's because we didn't have a way to let it go. We didn't sing it out. We didn't dance it out. We didn't yoni steam it out, right? We just told ourselves that it was done, but that's not enough. Because it's been something that's living in us for a long time. So when you're yoni steaming, ask Mama Gaia, ask Pachamama, take this from me. Please help me remove this from my body. I ask you. And honor her. Honor her in this way. Let her know that you know that she's there, because she knows that we're there. And really bring the sacredness back to your life. And when you're done with your yoni steam, you can take these herbs and do 3 things with them. 1, if you are healthy, if your menstrual cycle is healthy, and it might take you a while to get there, or you might be there already, right? And you were releasing in that yoni steam, or you are manifesting in that yoni steam, it was high vibe, positive vibration, and your period is healthy, you have no open sores or wounds or breakouts or anything like that, you can drink the tea because it's medicinal, but only if the vibration is positive, your period is healthy, you have no wounding, right? The second thing you can do is put the yoni steam in the fridge with a cover and yoni steam again the next day with those herbs. Over one day, no good, right? But you can 2 days in a row, good. The third thing you can do is take your herbs outside and give them back to the earth, give them back to a plant, and give a little prayer with it, because it has your DNA in it, right? It now has part of you and the plants, and return the plants to their mother with a prayer from you. And in this time and in all times, it is the feminine that keeps the balance in the planet, because she is feminine, and right now she is sick, and she's a reflection of us all. And it is us as the nurturers. It is us as the divine feminine of unconditional love and compassion to restore the balance with our planet. Healthy body, healthy planet. Mind right, planet in order, right? As everything is energy, our energy is contributing to the energy of the planet. And it is powerful. Each one of us is very, very, very powerful. We affect every single person that we know. So if we are positively affecting every person that we know, because we are living in a space of love and gratitude, putting a higher connotation over our own, anger about things, being in service to ourselves, to the divine, then our vibration affects all the people that we know, which affects all the people that they know, which affects all the people that they know. And one day, everyone will be walking around on a high vibration. And then there will be no reason to do oil drilling. There will be no reason to kill people. There will be no reason for forest fires in the Amazon. There'll be no reason for factory farming animals because everyone will be on a high vibration. It won't even be a match for the planet and the energy. And so that's what we can do. We can't go out there and save all the dolphins, but we can wake up every single day and be our best and work on cultivating our high vibration to be a positive impact on everyone that we know. And that is how we change the world. And that is what I desire to share. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your time and energy. My pleasure. You can find me at Sacred Lotus Yoni Steam through all the social media channels, and I'm always open to any questions. And I do my meetings on Zoom, and also just by the phone. So if you desire menstrual analysis or would like to get set up with a custom blend, we can do that and begin the road to healing your cycle, healing the imbalances in your cycle.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been my pleasure, sister, and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.
You too.